Today I'm bringing you news from RoofCon in Orlando, Florida. Huge shout out to Hunter Ballou and his team. You guys put amazing event. I did not expect this attendance. I did not expect show floor being as busy as it was with Hurricane Milton just happening a couple of weeks ago. Good job for pulling through with amazing event. It is my first RoofCon that I ever attended, and I love this community. Thank you guys for putting amazing event. This week on the roofing news, a roofing company is suing the state of Iowa over free speech and other concerns. We have the details. Robots will be installing roofs sooner than you think. The big update from Renovate Robotics. Allstate customers in Colorado are fighting back against denials. What local reporters found when they investigated the story. Welcome to the Roofing News. As always, if you have a story idea or good news to share, send it to Sydney@roofinginsights.com. And please support the video with the like below. Costs you nothing, but it helps a lot with the algorithm. Now let's get to the news.
Legal battles.
First up this week is an update on all of those cease and desist orders in Iowa. The state insurance division has sent at least 5 of them in the past 6 months. They're accusing roofers of unlicensed public adjusting. Some of the companies have been speaking out and fighting back. Now, one of them is suing.
Iowa state law says only licensed public adjusters can negotiate insurance claims. Shamrock Roofing says regulators have told them that they can't even talk to customers about these insurance claims, something the company says isn't just bad for business and customers, but also violates contractors' rights to free speech.
They want to muzzle us so that insurers don't pay the fair claim what they're supposed to pay. I mean, how ridiculous is that? They want to vilify the contractors instead of helping the consumers.
This summer, the Iowa Insurance Division issued a cease and desist accusing Shamrock Roofing of crossing the line into public adjusting. Shamrock's owner, Garen Armstrong, says the letter lacks clarity, making it tough to know how to comply.
It's very vague about what a person can say and what a person can't say. When we're just trying to help somebody who doesn't know, only 2% of people know what a public adjusters are. So they don't know to call a public adjuster. And mind you, a public adjuster will only pick up a claim that's $50,000 and more because they're getting 10% off the job. So it doesn't make sense for them to take a job that's $50,000 or less because it's a lot of work.
Martin Grace, an insurance expert at the University of Iowa, says it's important for contractors to stay out of the claims negotiation process.
A public adjuster isn't allowed to be the contractor for the home that they are adjusting. That's a conflict of interest. You can get someone that has a fiduciary duty or responsibility to you, like a homeowner's agent, if you will. Having the repairman in the process sort of makes the repairman's interests paramount.
But Armstrong argues the issue goes beyond consumer protection. He says the regulations have already impacted Shamrock's growth in Iowa, accusing the state of favoring insurance companies over contractors and homeowners, creating an anti-business environment.
I absolutely think they're lapdogs for insurance companies. Unfortunately, vilifying the contractor is the wrong way to go about it, and it makes it an anti-business friendly state. I've slowed down recruiting. I've pulled back on marketing. And I pulled back the plans on expansion into the Quad Cities.
Grace says he wouldn't be too surprised if the federal court does indeed find that the regulations are too vague or overly restrictive.
You can't have, especially about speech, a law that prohibits speech and no one will tell you what you can and cannot say. That's just too vague.
I talked to Garen last week and he is going with a lawsuit and very serious about it. This could be an interesting one to watch. On one hand, I don't think rules about unlicensed public adjusting will go away. A contractor in Texas tried to make the same free speech argument earlier this year and lost. But on the other hand, the case in Iowa could force regulators to be more specific about what contractors can and can't do, especially when it comes to advertising.
Accidents.
Next up is some crazy roof damage, but it wasn't caused by a storm.
New at 10, a crazy crash in Rancho Palos Verdes. A driver smashes right through the roof of a home. LA County firefighters responded to calls of a person trapped around 6 o'clock this evening on Santona Drive. The homeowner says that an elderly woman was behind the wheel, and it took first responders about 45 minutes to free her from the wreckage. That driver was taken to the hospital to be treated for her injuries. The damage left behind by the crash, well, that is immense, with debris strewn all over the room. And we spoke with the homeowner about the shocking crash.
I looked in the family room and I just saw piles and piles of wood. The windows had shattered. It sounded like the whole house exploded. This is just stuff. And you really just need to know that you're okay, Matt's okay, and I hope the lady that was in the car is okay. That's really what matters.
And right now, it's not clear what caused the driver to crash.
Wow. She has it right. All you can do is be thankful that you survived. More news is coming, but I want to give a huge shout out to Gonano. We actually just did a breakout session here at RoofCon with Gonano dealers. Absolutely amazing product. Go check gonano.com if you guys are newer to the industry, newer to rejuvenation. Thank you, Gonano, for sponsoring this episode of the news. And if you have any questions, comment below. I would like to elaborate and explain in details why I personally endorse rejuvenation industry and why I'm a big fan of Gonano.
Tools and tech.
We're one step closer to robots installing your roof. Renovate Robotics introduced Rufus to the world a few months ago. Now they're partnering with CertainTeed to test the robot in the real world. CertainTeed contractors will start using Rufus in the pilot projects this year. CertainTeed's parent company, Basin, has also completed an equity investment in Renovate Robotics. The companies hope that developing this robot will help fill labor shortages and increase efficiency. I want to know what you guys think about. Here at RoofCon, we actually have a couple conversations with the guys on the field. What do you think about AI? What do you think about robots? What do you think about all this new technology? Will it affect us, or we're still years and years ahead? Of course, Elon Musk just introduced his robots and the world is changing. That's one thing for sure. But comment below your opinion on the situation.
Rules and regulations.
A trade group is asking Florida to freeze worker comp rates. That's because the state is considering a rate cut that would take effect in 2025. For roofers, it would be a 7.89% decrease. The Florida Roofing and Sheet Metal Contractor Association is against the cut. They say it'll be more inexperienced workers on roofs because of the recent hurricanes. That means there could be more injuries and more potential costs to contractors. The FRSA wants the state to freeze rates increases of cutting now and increasing later. Roofers in Florida, I would love to hear your thoughts on this in comments. Should they cut rates or not?
Insurance.
On to some insurance news. Allstate customers in Colorado are fighting back against claim denials. When a local TV station investigated, they found a pattern. More than 40 people filed complaints against Allstate in the last year.
Brent Danner gives me a tour of the damage on his 9-acre farm.
Anything that faces north on this property got just destroyed.
The siding, the air conditioners, the roof.
But that's pretty impressive though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really bad. That looks terrible.
Good news though, he has homeowners insurance through Allstate, so everything's going to be just...
They actually made a personal call on Sunday to let us know our claim was denied.
Wait, what?
Did you think they would deny your claim?
No, not at all. They said that they couldn't see the damage and that the damage didn't exceed our $2,500 deductible, which is insane.
So speaking of insane,
This is the easy part.
we're climbing onto his barn roof
This is fresh.
to get a first-hand look at the hail damage. Ike John Nissen, the owner of Berthoud-based roofing company RoofLink, calls this damage textbook. What do you see when you're looking at this?
Yeah, so from an insurance point of view, you're going to draw a 10-foot box, and in that box you want to see 6 to 8 hits. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Should this roof be covered?
Yeah, absolutely.
He estimates $74,000 in damage on this property. So while they appeal Allstate's denial, we meet the neighbor next door. Also had hail damage, but a very different experience with a different insurance carrier.
How long did it take for you to get a check from your insurance company?
It took 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a check in hand.
I did.
For context,
This is our software that tracks where the storm came through.
Nissen says several neighbors in this area are getting their
Typical
roofs
story.
replaced, but many of the homes initially denied have something in common. Allstate.
I think this year we're at 21 Allstate claims in my company in the Berthoud area. And the first 8, that's when I reached out to you guys, the first 8 were all denied.
We filed a claim with Allstate in late July. It's now October, and we still don't have resolution. I'm hoping that this interview with you and bringing light to this problem will hopefully bring it to a quicker close.
So Denver 7 Investigates filed an open records request with Colorado's Division of Insurance for complaints about Allstate claims denied, finding comments like this. In Greeley, when I ask for answers on why they're not covering the roof, they're very vague on the subject. In Highlands Ranch, all of my neighbors have had new roofs from these storms. I have been denied 3 times. And in Lakewood, I would urge Dora to take a very hard look at Allstate's practices. All of these people received a payout from Allstate after their complaints. In fact, over the past year, of the 40 closed case summaries we reviewed, 25% resulted in Allstate paying the consumer from $1,500 to $26,000. But in many cases, the investor could not resolve the dispute, stating here, we do not have authority to compel a company to adjust the claim decision.
Should the state do more to protect consumers?
I think the state does a good job, a really good job with the tools they have.
Attorney Brad Levine specializes in bad faith insurance claims and says state regulators have limited power and mostly just facilitate communication.
There are laws to stop insurance companies from bad faith denials. The problem is that the cases can go to federal court and they take years, which means they're expensive. It's not really an option for most homeowners. Luckily, in this case, the news coverage helped. Allstate paid out after the reporters called. So the power of the media, guys, I'm telling you, do not underestimate the YouTube, the local news. Use the media to your leverage. If you have a crazy story like that, reach out to us, maybe we can help.
Good news.
Last but not least is some good news, or maybe just funny news. A goat decided to have a snack on a roof last week.
A wild sight in Laguna Beach when a goat that was supposed to be helping prevent wildfires decided to go rogue. Homeowner Bobby Strauss looked up to find the goat on her roof, chomping on her palm tree. She says it was part of a nearby herd that had been brought in to chew on all that dry brush.
He did some work on that palm tree. And I then got a little bit nervous that if he fell, it's 4 stories down. So it's a happy story. He's cleaning the brush. He got off of the roof safely and back with his herd. Only in Laguna Beach would you see a goat on a 4-story home.
Very cool.
I love it, but I want to see how the goat did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How it both got up and got down there.
There is a ladder there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He didn't get up there that way.
I don't know what he jumped on.
It is
to get
impressive.
Up there.
Maybe there's steps up the side.
After about an hour, the hungry goat had had enough of that tree, jumped over a wall to get back to the clearing brush with the rest of the herd.
That's it for this week for the news. I have a personal announcement to make. For the first time in the past 2 years, we have opportunity to invest in directory.com. I can go over details if you want to schedule a call. We have 2% available for potential investors. I'll put my information below. Reach out if you are interested in investing in one of our brands. I'll see you guys next week.